All right, team. Welcome back. Last episode video for tonight because I'm getting exhausted rehashing this nonsense. But if you want to know more about the Pavilion incident that got me put on a PIP, watch the previous video and you'll see that for yourself. So I went home. I was talking to my husband. I told him about what happened, and I was like, I have a feeling I'm going to be in my boss's office tomorrow because I have a feeling I know how Jess and Jen are, and I know how Liz is, and I have a feeling I'm going to be having to defend myself tomorrow. So I get to work tomorrow. I got to work. Now, that conversation was on a Monday. I get to work Tuesday morning, go into a meeting with my boss, and my boss tried to fire me because she said multiple people came to her and told her that I was yelling, cussing, and screaming at everybody, and that I was behaving aggressively and made everyone feel attacked, and that she's always hearing this stuff about me and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what are we talking about? I was like, that's not what happened at all. That's not what happened at all. And I told her what happened. She basically called me a liar to my face. And I was like, not a liar, Kim. I was like, at the end of the day, this is a professional basketball arena. We can just go watch the cameras and we could watch what happened. That's not what happened. I was like, I don't know who brought this to you, but that's not what happened at all. And whoever brought this to you is lying. And I'm not going to be getting fired for something I didn't do. And so as soon as I said that, I saw on her face that she was like, oh, it was like she was shocked that I was smart enough to be like, there are cameras everywhere. If you're going to try to fire me for behaving this way, show me. I was like, I'm not getting fired for something I didn't do. That is nonsense. That's not what happened. I was trying to have a conversation with the team because everyone else on the team was always fighting and arguing and spreading lies, rumors, and gossip about each other. And none of those issues ever involved me. And we just had my annual review. None of this was ever brought up. What are you talking about? And so, do you know that she put me on administrative leave and made me pack up my stuff and go home? Rather than go downstairs and watch the tape, rather than call security, email me the clips and from this date and time, it was at 4 p.m. She didn't do any of those things. She panicked because she realized that these people lied and that I'm smart enough to be like, let's just go watch the tape. But she wasn't going to do that because then she would have caught these people in the lies. And as they're white employees, they weren't going to be disciplined for that. And she knows that. And so I was sent home. Never in my 22-year career have I ever been placed on administrative leave. And I got placed on administrative leave for getting yelled at by a young white female who then lied along with the other white women on the team who said I was behaving aggressively. It's like, that's what every Karen always says. She was being aggressive and made me feel unsafe. Craziness. And I got put on administrative leave for that. And she said, well, since your version of events doesn't match anything about what I heard and what I was told, I'll go ahead and look into it, but you're on administrative leave until I complete the investigation. Imagine being a professional and you get placed on administrative leave because someone yelled at you and then lied about it, which could easily be seen by just watching the tapes. I've never been more embarrassed in my career. So I packed up my stuff. I went home and talked to my husband about that stuff. And he was like, what? I was like, I told you. And I was like, I know who I work with. But the next day, Wednesday, she did some type of investigation and enough people told her like, that's not what happened. That she texted me like, hey, I completed my investigation and let's just go ahead and keep your one-on-one on the books tomorrow morning because all my one-on-ones were always Thursday morning. So I got back to work on Thursday and she tells me, so what do you remember me saying to you on Tuesday? And I rehashed everything. You said I was the reason for all the division on the team. You said I was a liar and blah, 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 and that you were going to fire me. And she was like, well, I just think that emotions were high and I think this was all just blown out of proportion. And I think people just need to let other people be their authentic selves. And I think we all just need to, let this all go and move on. Completely different tone from what she had on Tuesday. And I'm going to tell you about the rest of that story. I'll make one more video just to do this last part because it is important. See you there. Bye.